Here on Jersey Magazine at 105.5 WDHA, my guest is a New York Times best-selling author, Patricia Crisafulli. Good morning and welcome.
Oh, good morning to you, and thank you for having me on the show.
So, as we start the new year, a lot of people come up with goals or things that they say that they're going to set out to do, and some of them they accomplish, and a lot of them they don't. Are you a resolution type of person?
I used to be, but I'm not anymore. I have taken resolution out of my vocabulary and I have put a different word in there instead, and it's called wishes. And I know that may sound a little fuzzy and a little like maybe even a little woo-woo, but here's the point. Resolutions, those things we need to improve. We need to floss our teeth and take care of our cholesterol and get the oil change, is all great and all that, but it doesn't really inspire you. And I think that's one of the reasons why statistics show resolutions get dropped by February. And when we go, oh, I failed again. Wishes access the deeper dreams and aspirations we have that can actually fuel the fire for making self improvement and promote creative expression.
It's interesting that you use one word because that's a topic that I've been on the last couple of Januaries is this one word challenge for a New Year's resolution. And my word for this year is commit. Last year it was finish. And it worked really well, Patricia, because I have a terrible habit of starting things with the best of intentions and not finishing them. So last
Welcome to the
year,
human race.
right, exactly. But I'm going to do this year and I'm going to do that this year. Well, if I just use the word finish, this year it's commit. And so I want to commit to something. It's a relationship with my family. It's my job. It's whatever it happens to be. And using that one word just change the entire perspective. I don't have to lose 10 pounds in a week. I don't have to read a book a month or whatever. I can just commit to something and build it along the way. And I think that's exactly where you are with that word wishes.
Right. Because to wish is both the noun and the verb. What is my wish? And what do I wish? So the noun, I put something on the board, right? Okay. I really wish to get that. I really wish that I had that novel, out there, or I wish that to take an art course or to put myself out there in community theater, whatever it is. And then wish becomes the verb that says as I dream, as I give myself permission to tap into that deeper desire, well, that gets the wheels spinning. And then we suddenly see things, a flyer, an opportunity, a class, a workshop, a conversation with a friend, and we are engaged.
So for people who are looking to start 2024 in a more creative vein, and maybe that's the word, create, what are
Mhm.
your suggestions to go about doing that?
Well, the first one is write it down. Make a wish, have a dream, and just give yourself permission to say, what is it I've always wanted to try? Some people will say to me, I loved to write when I was in school, but then, my life got in the way, or my job took me in a different direction, or whatever. Or, I used to sketch or draw, or I used to play the piano, or I used to, or I've always really liked, this kind of craft or this art, whether fabric art or paper art, whatever it is. Pick one, put it on the board. Then the gap we feel between like, oh, that's a really high goal and I'm over here, we need to bridge that. We map it out because chances are you've done something, read something, gone to a work, done something, or looked at something, anything that puts the first point on the map. I'm here and I've done these things and my goal is here. How do I get there? Now it becomes easier because it's visual and tangible. And I mean, literally make a little map. What's along this way? A workshop, a writing group, a performance experience, talking to somebody who's already doing that. And this creates momentum and engagement and increases the exploration of your dream, your wish, your goal.
It sounds as if you've actually done this, and it brings me to my next point. You got your master's degree in your early 50s. What led you to that decision?
The word but. I have been writing all my life. And I was a journalist, a business journalist, and a nonfiction author. And fiction was always my dream from the time I was in my 20s. And we are not doing that math of how long ago that was. But it's been a little while. Uh, and I got some short stories published. I won a couple small awards for short stories. But when I wrote a novel, people and agents or publishers would say, shows great promise, a lot of creativity, da, da, da. But,
Aha.
and the but was that last thing, because publishing's like a big old funnel. All this comes in and very little drips out. And I needed to get over the but. So at 52, I went to Northwestern University, a 5-year program, worked all day and went
Wow.
to the program at night. Loved it, loved it. And I learned the craft and I learned so many things. And the feedback, it's really ripping off the band-aid. The first time I went to a workshop, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. I have no talent. But no, it's because your peers tell you what you want to know. Does this, does this shirt make me look funny? The answer is yes, and they'll tell you, but it's writing, not a shirt. I loved that process so much. And in going deeper and getting feedback and encouragement, and then, I kept that up. I got over the but. And I'm proud to say I have my Oneida Harbor mystery series to thank as the attainment of my dream, and I'm still going. And the latest one just came out in September, The Secrets of Stillwater's Chasm.
Yeah, you mentioned the Oneida Harbor series, and one of those, I guess the first one, the first nonfiction book, actually came out as part of your master's thesis, correct?
Well, it's a fiction. It's a novel. So it was my thesis. What was the first novel, The Secrets of Oneida Harbor, was my creative thesis at Northwestern, and I can be brag a moment to say it won the Distinguished Thesis Award, which gave me great hope, and then lots more feedback to turn it into a mystery because I love stories that look at small towns and quirky characters and where the ordinary intersects with the extraordinary. And that's rich fodder for a mystery. And in developing it into a mystery and then a mystery series helped me get over the but, go into the and have a mystery series. But it all started where everybody else is. And I'm still on that creative path. Here I am. Here's my dream. How can I pursue it?
I've thought a number of times of going back to school. When I was in college, my dad wanted me to go to law school, and I had gotten to the point, Patricia, where like, I'm done. There's no way I'm going to do this. And I'd been out a few years, and I started thinking, nah, I still don't want to go back. And then there was one point, and it's about, I don't know, maybe 15, 18 years ago, I was doing, in addition to radio, I was working in the front office of a minor league baseball team here in New Jersey. And I thought briefly about going back and getting a master's degree in sports management. But I was
Mm.
thinking, I don't know if I want to spend that much time in a classroom. Do I have enough time, even if I were to go at night with everything that's going on in my life? How do I do it? And I ultimately decided, no, I'm done with school. So I'm very impressed that you went and did that.
Well, the school and learning take lots of form. Me, it worked for me. It really did. And it just, it was, my demand for getting over the hump and that supply of a great program just came together. But there are other forms to take. There are workshops. There's online courses. There's groups. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that we can educate ourselves and be part of a community of people in similar avocations, professions, whatever that is. So if going back to school just makes your head hurt, then it's like, don't do that. Okay.
That's
This is
exactly
not
the
about
point.
being punitive, but a really cool workshop or a program put on at your alumni association where somebody who is in broadcast or sports market or whatever it is, and you go, I'd love to hear that person, then go do it.
I have 3 kids, and all 3 of them have taken different educational paths. My oldest daughter does have a master's degree. My younger daughter, a 4-year degree. And then my son has a 2-year degree and has taken a couple of other courses beyond that. But all 3 of them, and all 3 are successful. And all I've said to them is, I don't really care what you do education wise, as long as you continue to grow and learn. because once you stop learning, you're done.
Right, right. And it can be informal. I mean, especially for an artistic pursuits, we might go to a workshop. There might be something that's being given at the local art center. Hands-on experience. Open your eyes and your heart to what feels good, and give yourself permission to go experience it.
I think you also need to give yourself permission. I don't know if fail is the right word, Patricia, but we talk about, well, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Well, it doesn't happen in a week. I'm going to write the great American novel. Well, you're not going to do that in a week. I'm going to paint. Whatever it is, it's not going to happen right away. How do we give ourselves permission? And again, fail might not be the right word, but to not
To
achieve what we
stumble.
want right away.
Right, to stumble. Right, exactly. I mean, first of all, anybody who's creative knows that you have an idea in your head, and what comes out on the canvas or at the keyboard or on the page, there might be a gap there, right? There might be a germ of an idea, and it might be one good sentence or a really solid paragraph and a lot of nonsense around it. That's what I find in my writing, folks, right? And it is, I hate this word, but it's such a good word. It's the process, right? And part of the process is experimenting. Give yourself permission to try something and have it fall flat. Why? Because you say, well, that didn't work, but this did, or this took me in an interesting place. Where someone, suddenly decides that a painting style, which has been very, I have a friend who does paint and gone from a realism to something a little more abstract. I just decided to try it. I'm working on my third novel, and I start with a historic prologue and then jump 250 years, and it's not in the story. And I'm like, can I do that? I'm like, yes, give yourself permission. If it doesn't work, your beta readers will tell you. If we stop trying new things, we hold ourselves back, because you might just find, yeah, what you just did is really slick and cool. And developing that additional skill or mode of expression can get you back on the path in a very interesting intersection, branching out.
I mentioned to you that I worked for a minor league baseball team here in New Jersey. And while I no longer do that, I'm still a baseball coach. I coach at the high school level and also deal with a lot of kids from
Great.
ages like 7 all the way up through high school. And one of the things that I've really tried to instill in kids is that this is a game of failure. You're going to fail a lot more times than you succeed. And, we'll talk about batting averages. If you get 3 hits every 10 times at bat, you hit 300, and you do it long enough, they put you in the Hall of Fame and they pay you a gazillion dollars. If you get 3 answers right out of 10 in a test, what are mom and dad going to say? And kids invariably will
Wah,
say,
wah, wah.
they're not going to be happy. I go, exactly. You have to give yourself permission to fail at this game, or at least change your idea of what it means to be successful.
Right. And especially in creative pursuit, art is never done. I found this, I don't know if I forgot, somebody famous said it and it wasn't me. So I give credit to whoever it was. I've forgotten the source, but art is never finished. It just stops in interesting places. Like every writer I know wants to run behind the truck pulling out of the warehouse from the publisher going, on page 47, I haven't it, or wants to dab at the canvas one more time in the gallery, or because there is, creation never stops. And I think that ability to be honest with ourselves, that it's a work in progress and we're a work in progress. It's not about perfection. Oh my gosh. And I think that you've hit it. That holds so many people back from being creative, because they're like, I'm not going to be very good the first time. Yeah, that's right. But the second time and the fourth time and the 10th time, it's progress.
So, what's your wish going forward in 2024? To go back to the word that you started the interview with.
Okay, my wish is for the series to continue. I've got this really interesting idea and what happens next in the Oneida Harbor Mystery Series. And I want to challenge myself on playing with time, specifically on having this historic connection. All my novels have an artifact at the center of them. And then lots of people, falling, in the river and turning up dead on the library lawn. It's a cozy mystery with a literary flair. So it's all set in modern time. It's not historic, but I always have this artifact, this thing that wants to be discovered. In the first novel, it was a medieval artifact. In the second novel, it's a nautical schematic. Let's put it that way. And the third novel, it is something that links very deeply into local history and also national history. And I wanted to play with time so that the artifact has agency. It wants to speak. And I know it's an inanimate object. So my wish is to give myself permission to play even more in my genre.
I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking TV miniseries here.
Okay. No more calls, folks. Please call him and act on that. I
Patricia,
like your wish. I like your wish for me. Amen.
for listeners who want to learn more about you, tell them about the website faithhopeandfiction.com.
It is my literary playground. Faith means it's a broad word, like faith in yourself, something bigger, inspiration, hope, because you cannot create without hope, and fiction, because that's my genre. But also, I think within the stories we tell, there's a great deal of truth. It's free. Faithhopeandfiction.com is free, always will be. I publish other authors myself, and you can find out more about the Oneida Harbor Mystery Series, which is, thank you, Woodhall Press, my wonderful publisher. And I'm hoping that people will see an opportunity maybe to be inspired to create some short stories and novels of their own.
Patricia Crisafulli, and again, the website is faithhopeandfiction.com. Thank you so much for your time. I've really enjoyed talking with you here on Jersey Magazine this morning.
Anytime, if you need to talk creativity, give me a call.